Beijing, ancient capital, modern metropolis, the home of emperors, and the heart of a great cultural tradition. Beijing, old and sedate, young and dynamic, a modern open city on the fast track to reinventing itself. Beijing, where two worlds mingle. Being Beijing is experiencing the life, seeing the sights, sampling the culture. That's being Beijing.
Beijing is my home. I was born in this huge city, but left as a child many years ago. Since coming back, I've met the new face of Beijing. However, despite all the changes, tradition still stands strong. There's a certain Beijingness in the air that's bound to immerse you with its presence.
For most people in Beijing, Shichahai is a place filled with memories. As children, they came to play by these waters. They strolled under the weeping willows and possibly met their first love here. Now, although the Beijing of today is no longer simply that, there have been many new elements incorporated. What are they exactly? Well, that's exactly why we are here. I'm Yin, and welcome to Travelogue. Welcome to the Beijing series.
Strolling through Shichahai, you may forget that you are in the heart of a busy metropolis. Who would have thought that just 4 kilometers north of the Forbidden City, we'd find a place like this? The area of Shichahai actually encompasses 3 bodies of water: Tianhai, Xihai, and most famous of all, Hohai. To get here, take the subway to Gulou and walk 10 minutes south. It's a relaxing place. Come hang out with your friends or enjoy the sunshine.
In Hohai, probably the best method of walking around here is to take a bicycle to get through those little hutongs and the little alleys. 师傅，这自行车怎么租的呀
1个小时20。
20那这种。
单车1个小时10块。
Not expensive. For 10 kuai, you can get one of these bikes for an hour. 就要这个吧，啊。Okay. Now, I'm geared with the right equipment. I forgot how to ride this thing.
The character Hai of Shichahai literally means ocean, and long ago, the lake was called an ocean for its grand size. So, my day begins to see if Beijing is anything like it was in my childhood. In the past, the Beijing people would get up every morning to the sound of the bell from the bell tower. As early as 2,000 years ago, the morning bell and evening drum could be heard resonating throughout the city. Today, 15 RMB is all it takes to get a taste of this place. According to legend, the official charged with casting the bell tried and failed repeatedly. Finally, his daughter, fearing of further delays, threw herself into the bronze, hoping to move the gods to ensure a perfect casting. 100 meters south of the bell tower stands the drum tower.
Shall I continue with the drums? You see, the drums obviously are a musical instrument, but since ancient times in China, it's also been used as a time-announcing tool, sort of like a clock, because everyone in the ancient city would be able to hear the banging of the drums, and it signified to them the hour it was during the day. Sometimes it would be hit very quickly, and other times slower. Thus, the banging of the drums helped the people know what time it was and helped regulate their lives and their work. Today, people
People still strike the drum, but it's more of a performance, a way of reenacting the customs of the past. And the entrance here is only 20 RMB, not expensive at all. Back in the old days, the drum was beaten quickly 18 times and then slowly 18 times. Altogether, there were 3 cycles. That's 108 drum beats in all. And 108 was a number that used to represent a year.
Nowadays, we have the tick-tocking of the clock to remind us of the passage of the time. But back in the old days, the Chinese people used something like this. Well, you might wonder, how did the drummers know when to strike the drum? It's because of this mechanism right here, which served the function of a gigantic clock. You see, it's sort of water-powered, with the water running from the first one up there to the second, the third, and finally into this cylinder. And once the cylinder fills up with water, this ruler would go up slowly. And on the ruler, you see markings with the different times of day. And every 15 minutes, this man here with the cymbal would strike.
Shichahai has always been a good place to relax, and many government officials, celebrities, and monks chose to build mansions and temples here. Just north of Shichahai, a 15-minute walk from the Drum Tower, we find Prince Gong's mansion, constructed in 1777. It was designed as a paradise for the elite, and you may be surprised to know that this back garden is bigger than the garden in the Forbidden City itself. Prince Gong's position was similar to that of a present-day diplomat, and his mansion reflected his more worldly interests. This gate is a perfect harmonization of Western style with ancient Chinese carvings. On the top of the gate, the Chinese characters translate as wishing for spring in the garden all year round. The mansion is full of cultural connotations. Most obvious is the Fu culture. Fu is the Chinese character representing fortune and luck. And you may notice the carvings of bats. They're called Bianfu, and they're supposed to spread luck and good fortune. It's believed that there are almost 10,000 Fu depictions here, including a handwritten character by Emperor Kangxi.
You'll notice something quite peculiar about this path. You see, although it's going uphill, there are no steps. And that was done on purpose, because the owner of the palace wanted his life to be perfectly smooth, upright, and no obstacles.
No visit to Prince Gong's mansion is complete without a look at the opera theater, included in the 60 RMB entrance fee. The environment and decoration remind you that this is an entertainment arena for royalty. Today, drinking a cup of tea and watching a good traditional show, you're taken back in time to Prince Gong's world. A popular means of transport through the long alleyways, or hutongs, is the rickshaw. People say that the real culture of Beijing is the culture of the hutong and courtyard.
你是 Miss， 对，给他打一声招呼，翻译他到中国来就是Welcome to 北京，然后就是问他，有老北京的胡同，摆着rickshaw。
Amongst the vehicles of today's world, this old-style transportation is like a bus or taxi of the past. And your driver may turn out to be a great guide. A lot of the drivers aren't Beijing locals themselves, but are sure to answer all your questions about the hutongs. And in English, maybe. Where there's a hutong, there's a story. The residences in the hutongs bear markings of the family status. In olden times, a strict feudal hierarchy was observed, so the social class of the courtyard owners, including the members of the imperial family, dictated the architectural style, scale, and even the decorations.
Who would have thought there would have been a traffic jam of these rickshaws?
Waiting in traffic is no fun, but a gridlock in the hutong is a completely different experience.
My friends from Beijing recommended the perfect place to stay to experience life in the hutong. Dajinsi Hutong number 12. I think this may be it. Let's go check it out. Hi. Are you Jimmy?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Yin. My friend told me to come here.
All right.
Yeah.
So come in.
Thanks. Wow, this is some place to live.
Thank you. Now my parents and I live here.
Were you born in this yard?
Yeah, I was grown up here. So does my father.
And your father? What about your grandfather?
Well, actually, we live here 4 generations.
In this yard, wow.
Long time.
Yeah, it has a lot of history.
Exactly.
It seems like it's almost unrealistic. It's like from a movie or a book or something, this environment.
Thank you. This is the traditional Beijing house. You can see the structure is pretty special.
Yeah, how do you explain this? What is this?
Well, you see the houses are located on 4 sides, and the yard is in the center. I built a house in this kind of structure, while so nobody else can see your privacy from the outside.
Oh, so if you want to kick back with a few friends, get an umbrella, a table in the summertime, no one can see you.
No, and a lot of my friends like this kind of feeling, you know. It's pretty special.
I actually really like this feeling too. When I was born in Beijing, and
Really?
then the courtyard is always something I dreamed of. I dreamed of living in. So I don't know if you can fulfill my dream today.
Your dream can come true, actually. My parents do bed and breakfast business.
Cool.
So if you like, you can stay for a few days.
Get me a room.
Okay.
Strangely enough, this bed and breakfast feels more like home. No flashy signs, no advertisements. It's just Jimmy, his parents, and their cat. Every once in a while, they welcome a few friends of the friends to stay over. Perhaps that's why this place is so special.
What's life in the hutong like?
If you live in Hutong area and you've grown up here, you just get in touch with all of your neighbors. You know them very much. Every morning you say hi to them. You probably will buy breakfast with them together.
Yeah. So but after 4 generations, do you think when you form your own family, have kids, do you want them to be living in this courtyard?
Yeah, I think so. First, you see, I don't want any of my children just miss the Chinese culture. They have to be understand the Chinese culture. And if you really want to know it, you just have to live in the courtyard house.
I love Jimmy's place. It's just 2 minutes from my favorite restaurant.
Hutong Pizza, and we're finally here. See up here? It says Hutong in traditional Chinese characters, which a lot of typical Chinese people might not even recognize. But in this Hutong, this pizza place, once you see these characters, you'll never forget it. Wow. It's like a miniature garden in here. Waters, flowers, and sunshine. You never know what you'll find at the end of each hutong. It's like a surprise in each. And you see, in this pizza place, foreigners as well as locals from the area all come here to enjoy the delicious pizza. But besides good food and a good environment, there's also something that's very unique. It's upstairs. This is not the roof of a typical building. Instead, this used to be a monastery, and you can see that through its structure and the paintings over here. Half pizzeria, half monastery. I guess this is what the new Beijing looks like.
Shichahai literally means 10 temple ocean, and at one time it's said to have actually had 10 temples, or rather 9 nunneries and a monastery. Today, many of these temples have been transformed into homes or restaurants, which serve authentic Western food like this one. The restaurants of Shichahai all have their own unique decoration and themes. This restaurant in particular serves foreign food, but the decoration here is deeply rooted in Chinese culture.
Wow. Looks pretty authentic to me. Can you imagine pizza in a hutong in a monastery? Seems kind of weird. See how the pizza is.
Not bad, and for a good price. For 2 people, bring about 150 RMB. And be sure to make reservations early, because business is smoking. Or come at 3 or 4 p.m. like me and avoid the crowds. We move onward to the nearby Smoking Pipe Street, which gets its name from its pipe-like shape when seen from above, and from its history of selling tobacco. Today, it's a special commercial street with people selling a wealth of different products, from antiques, clothing and kites, to crafts, and of course, tobacco. With plenty of locals and plenty of foreigners, the street has acquired a unique flair, where nothing you find here will be much of a surprise.
Hey there! Wow, you really find all sorts of strange things on this street. Hello? Hello? 这是您的鸟吗？
是啊，
它叫什么名字啊？
它叫大宝。
大宝，大宝是不是你们这儿的明星之鸟，可以带来很多客人？
对，因为就是说我们这里的客人80%都是冲着它过来。大宝下来，从这下来。
哎，还挺听话的。
对呀。
啊，这样抓住它的注意力了哈。
来，过来。
Look over here. They have these little statues, as well as all along the top. 这可以用来表演吗？
可以的。Quite
obviously, that wasn't a Beijing bird. And the owner says the puppets are from Fujian province. Nowadays, the stores don't just display Beijing products, but stuff from all over the country and world. A sort of cultural melting pot. Folk artists from all over China are invited to come to the shops and hand-make Chinese crafts.
Wow! It's a Chinese folk art store. So bright and colorful. It's like, I think many different types of Chinese folk art have all been incorporated in this one store. And over here, it seems like this stuff, besides just looking good, it's also functional. Did you know that a lot of these Chinese shoes for babies have tigers' heads on them? And what that's supposed to do is drive away the evil spirits from the child. Besides that, what's this over here? 大姐，您做什么呢？
这是挖耳枕。
挖耳
啊，青蛙耳枕，这个挺实用的。它能，就是这个是小孩的。它这样小孩睡觉的时候，耳朵放这个空里面，它就不压。
哦，那我要是想买一个，可以用这个吗？
这个是大的，这个昨天刚做好的。
啊，see, it's an ear pillow. So when you get tired, you can put your ear inside this hole.
I've never seen anything like it. What a creation. This pillow costs around 200 RMB, which I guess is a great deal for something so intricately handmade. In fact, most things here are sewn by hand in the traditional Chinese way. Within the hutong, the best place to really get a taste of the local culture is Jiumen Xiaochi, or 9 Gate Snacks in northern Hohai, 10 minutes from Yandai Xiejie by rickshaw. The name refers to the 9 gates in the inner city of the Forbidden City, which are symbolic of Beijing. In this courtyard, there are a dozen of Beijing's oldest and most famous Laozihao, or brand name stores, some dating back more than a century. Here, these Beijing snacks come under one roof, but each stall has something unique.
Wow, you find all sorts of strange snacks here. Look here, 爆肚冯, which means feng's a name of a guy, beef's stomach, and that's, I guess, some intestinal snack that people enjoy. But, 哎，您是那个冯老先生吗？
对对对。
那这店就是您的了。
对对对。
那您这家店有多少年历史了？
有100多年了。
Wow, so this is Mr. Feng right here, and his store has had over 100 years of history. 那您是第几代人？
第3代。
哦，已经那很长时间的历史了。
对对对。
那一般人可以接受这个爆肚吗？
可以可以。
Apparently, everyone can get used to the taste of the intestine, but I don't know. I have to try it. 我来一碗吧。我尝尝第一次是什么呀？
Baodu Feng was once a supplier of ox and sheep stomach to the imperial kitchen. Today, this branch of the culinary arts is in the safe hands of a Mr. Feng, a descendant of the creators of the original Baodu Feng.
It looks like mushrooms. 这个
After it's dipped into the special sesame sauce, the dish is quite tasty.
Fishy.
You might not get used to some of the tastes here, but remember the names: 爆肚, 豆汁儿, 疙瘩, 芥末墩儿. They are the most authentic, so you can't leave without at least a small try. Every noon, there's an elderly artist who comes to perform a Beijing special, yaohe. This is a form of calling in the hutong that uses a wide variety of tools salespeople or service people employed in the past to attract customers.
It was a little bit loud in there, so we decided to take Mr. Liu out and see exactly what all this is for. 卢老先生，这个用来都是做什么的呀？
这个叫金龟，就是惊动闺房小姐太太们出来磨剪磨刀。
哦，那所以它声音很大，就是为了招邻居来。
它因为北京净是4合院，而且院子套院子，这一打呢，里院也能听见。磨剪子嘞，常在刀。
这个是用来做什么的？
这是老北京卖糖葫芦的，卖糖葫芦呢，这个东西南北城，而且呢吆喝的都不一样。如果说在北城，他这么吆喝：米罗哎，冰糖葫芦它哟。你要到了西城了。他这么吆喝：呼啦冰糖嘞！到了东城东安市场，这么吆喝：呼啦钢蛋墩。到了南城了，天桥这么吆喝2个字儿：呼啦。
My favorite time in Hohai is the late afternoon. There's just something about this place that leaves you satisfied. Maybe it's the way the last glimmer of light falls on the surface of the water, the way you can simply sit and take in the moment. When the sun goes down, it's goodbye today and hello to a completely different place. Soon, the bright lights and traditional lanterns in the many bars and restaurants come on. Nowadays, most people know Hohai because of its nightlife. In the evenings, the area is transformed from a quiet escape to a scene of bustle, excitement, and energy. A one-day trip through Hohai may just give you enough time to see it all, but a 3- or 4-day stay may just open your eyes to the real Beijing. The popularity of Hohai can perhaps be attributed to the presence of water in the center of the city, which somehow enhances its spirit. Shichahai has changed since I was a child. People's lifestyles are different, but everyone who comes here is sure to slow things down a bit, relax, and leave feeling content. In this way, at its core, it hasn't changed at all. The undulating waves, charming music, and a few friends, life is perfect.
Shichahai is just this eclectic mix of past and present. Here you'll find dimming lights, you'll find bars, but also you'll find still waters and ancient hutongs. And maybe that's what makes this place so special. I'm Yin, and see you next time on our Beijing Special.
In the next episode of the Beijing series, we're heading south. That's right, the southern part of Beijing is where local culture comes alive. From 100-year-old shops to theaters to tea houses, the list goes on. Come see how Beijingers live it up.